Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received on Monday the credentials of 15 new ambassadors. Those included the ambassadors of Thailand, Canada, Tunisia, Dominican Republic, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Jordan, Oman, South Africa, Namibia, the Democratic Republic of Laos, Somalia, the United Arab Emirates, Pakistan and Benin. The President welcomed the new ambassadors and wished them success in their new assignments. He also confirmed Egypt's keenness for boosting bilateral relations with their countries in different fields. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi greeted women on Monday, marking the International Women's Day. In a post on his official Facebook page, the President sent a message of appreciation and respect for the Egyptian women, who represent the nation's will, power and perseverance throughout history. The President said that one of the unchangeable facts in life is that women are the everlasting source of goodness, energy, security and sacrifice. They are also the source of wisdom and principles and the pillar of the family and its unity. The President greeted every Egyptian woman and girl on the occasion. First Lady Intisar al-Sisi marked on Monday the International Women's Day. Posting on her official Facebook page, the First Lady said, "Our celebration of the Egyptian women reflects the long history of giving and sacrifice, with true enthusiasm and will in the face of all challenges." The First Lady greeted each and every Egyptian woman on the International Women's Day. The world marks today the International Women's Day. This year's theme is Choose to Challenge. The day marks the struggle for female participation in politics and in the workforce, from the right to vote to the right of equal pay.
In a message on International Women's Day marked annually on 8th of March, Secretary General Antonio Guterres outlined clear evidence such as better social protection programs, stronger climate policies and enduring peace agreements when women are in governments, parliament or peace negotiations. The UN began celebrating the International Day in 1975, which was designated International Women's Year. Over the decades, it has morphed from recognizing the achievements of women to becoming a rallying point to bid support for women's rights and participation in the political and economic arenas. This year's commemoration under the theme Women in Leadership Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World comes as the world continues to navigate the pandemic, which has wiped out decades of hard-won progress towards gender equality. Women have borne the brunt of the coronavirus pandemic, from being pushed into poverty to losing jobs as the informal economy shrinks, to an alarming spike in domestic violence and the unpaid care burden. However, in spite of the impact on their lives, the rights women have stood resolutely on the front lines of the pandemic response as essential workers, caregivers and leaders. Executive Director of the UN Women, the organization's entity dedicated to gender equality and the empowerment of women, underlined the need for political will to actively and internationally support women's representation. In a message, he went on to note the concrete efforts such as setting and meeting parity targets at all levels of government, or special measures such as putting in place and enforcing quotas and policies to address representation for real progress on women's leadership. She also added that no country prospers without the engagement of women, calling for women's representation that reflects all women and girls in all their diversity and abilities and across all cultures, social, economic and political situations. UN agencies together with partners also organized the commemorative events around the world to mark the International Day.
Foreign Minister Semih Shukri met on Monday with visiting Greek counterpart Nikos Dendias. The talks covered means of boosting bilateral relations as well as regional and international issues of mutual concern. During the meeting, Shukri hailed the strong Egypt-Greek relations, affirming Egypt's keenness to pave the way for the flow of Greek investments to Egypt and for boosting cooperation in the field of tourism. He also called for a quick launch to the cooperation in the field of energy. The two ministers expressed keenness on continuing consultations and coordinating stances on regional developments. Libya's parliament meets Monday ahead of a vote on a new interim unity government, which is a crucial step towards the December elections and stability after a decade of violent turmoil. A UN-supervised process aims to unite the country after a ceasefire reached last October between two main conflicting parties and administrations, each backed by foreign forces based in the east and west of the country. The 188-strong House of Representatives was meeting in the coastal city of Sirte, located halfway between Tripoli. Prime Minister-designate Abdelhamid Dbeibah was elected in February at a UN-sponsored dialogue attended by a cross-section of Libyans to steer the country towards the scheduled December 24th polls. Dbeibah, a billionaire businessman, submitted his 33-member cabinet lineup to Parliament for approval last week without publicly revealing any names. And ahead of the Libyan parliament meeting, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri stressed on Monday on the importance of abiding by provisions of a ceasefire deal by all Libyan parties, especially those on evicting foreign troops and mercenaries, in addition to confronting all attempts to impede efforts to unify the Libyan security institutions. This came during Shukri's meeting with the UN Special Envoy for Libya, Jan Kubis. During the meeting, Shukri reviewed Egypt's efforts to reach a political settlement in Libya, stressing on the need to conclude the roadmap of the political settlement. Egypt condemned with the strongest words Yemen's Houthi militias' terrorist attacks against Saudi Arabia. The Foreign Ministry reiterated Egypt's rejection for the Houthi militias' attacks, which violates the international law and human values. The Foreign Ministry expressed Egypt's support for the Libyan people and the leadership, for the people and the leadership of the kingdom in their efforts to confront the flagrant attacks and to preserve its security, stability and sovereignty. Forces of